Hey, it's Bob, and this is a track breakdown of our collaboration with Doktor and DRIIA called Siren. So it took me about 3, maybe even 4 years to actually make this one. It was sitting at in my sketches folder for ages. Well, not for ages, but like maybe 1 or 2 years before I met Doktor and DRIIA at the first hospital songwriting camp. So it was 2 years ago, and we were at the studio and I just showed some of my sketches and they really resonated with this one. And I think what initially grabbed their attention is that, synth arpeggio. Let me show you this one. This one. And for me, it was really great to see them approving this sketch or this sound, because for me, this one sounds quite familiar. I use lots of this type of synth all over my tunes. So for me, it's quite ordinary. It's not something I really was excited about. But after seeing them kind of resonating with it, it gave me reason to actually keep working on this tune and apparently finish this one. So yeah, then DRIIA came up with the chorus. Then they worked with the Doktor verse. Then we had to re-record some of the vocals and think about lyrics and stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm really happy with the final tune. So yeah, let's start from this synth. It's actually quite easy to do synth. It's good old massive. So let's turn off the processing just to hear the original sound. This is it. I will turn off the effects. So yeah, it's a saw wave. A little bit detuned, so the LFO is modulating the pitch a little bit. If I will increase the LFO, you can clearly hear the modulation. It's like a detuned old synth, but yeah, I use it all the time. Just a little bit of LFO on the pitch gives every synth some character. So then we have another oscillator, and it's 7 semitones higher. And this interval is called the perfect fifth, and yeah, again, I really like how it sounds. It's one of the most pleasing intervals in the music for me and for most of the people, to be honest, because it just sounds nice and consonant. Then I have a filter, so I cut high frequencies. It's low pass filter. And here is the magic, if you can say that. So we have envelope on the filter, so with a quite short decay. And on the envelope of the volume, I have a random generator attached to the decay. So decay is different every time I press the note. Basically, this knob is behave like this, randomly, and it influences the sound. Every time is slightly, decay of the notes are slightly shorter or longer. And it creates that organic kind of instability for the sound. And I think this is kind of the main unique thing about this sound. Then I have 2 macros. The first one sent to the cutoff filter. So I have some automations here. I slowly open the sound, the filter. it's always really works great in an arrangement. And then for the second macros, I have attached release of the filter envelope and the volume envelope. So with the second macros, I'm increasing the tails of the notes. So this arpeggio kind of morphing into the pad or something longer, something softer. And of course I have some effects. Here I have flanger. Quite fast moving flanger, but I have just a little bit of it. Reverb. And here I have just equalizer to cut low frequencies and just, sculpt the sound. Then I have even more equalizers, but these equalizers are kind of to add some character. Then I send this sound to another reverb. It's really big room, big hall reverb. I also equalize it a little bit to fit in the mix. And the second send is delay. So I have a couple of delays actually here. I send the synth to this delay only at the end of like 8 or 16 patterns, just to blend things together. Like for example here. You can hear the delay here. And I use this, send to the delay quite a lot in this tune and in many others. It's just nice way to blend different parts of the song. For example, here. Let's hear it with everything else. Crazy when you're gone, gone, gone. And without it. So as you can hear, it really helps to connect different parts of the track. I use this technique a lot, just send to the reverb or delay, and it helps me to use less effects like reverse crashes. Usually, send to the delay is enough to make things work. And I use the same technique with the vocal here. Just adding a delay at the end of the 16 bars. Gone. Help to blend things together. Oh, really important thing I forgot to mention is that apart from these two oscillators, I actually have two unisons here. So the massive create a duplication of these oscillators, detune it a little bit. So here is how much I detune it. Just like 1/10 of 1 semitone probably. And this is panning. So each unison panned hard left and hard right. So this creates this really wide stereo effect. If I turn it off, let's hear it with one unison. It's like almost mono. It's in mono before the reverb and flanger. But when we adding some unisons, so it's now, we can hear that detune effect. We can make it more or less. I prefer less in this case, just to create kind of movement. We can use more unisons to create more kind of trancey sound. But again, for this one, I wanted to be it like minimalistic and clean. And now with the panning, sounds really stereo. Because we have different unisons with slightly different pitch in different channels. That gives it really wide character. So I think for me, like, this is the best choice in terms of how I want to make my synth wider. I just usually use unisons. That's it for this synth. Let's check other synth that we have here, and they are not complicated at all. They're pretty basic. So we have a pad here. You drive me crazy when you're gone. This is a sample. We'll get back to it a bit later. Let's check this chord. So this is something that I added to this pad just to get some extra, I don't know, jazziness or just smoothness. This is again massive. Again, it's saw wave with the LFO on pitch. Let's turn off the processing actually. Yeah, saw wave with a filter is just a little bit of envelope. Here, reverb. Again, two unisons, slightly detuned. Then we have some processing, just a cue to cut unnecessary low end and high frequencies. Shaper box. I don't remember what it. It's probably a filter, just a little bit of modulation on the filter. And yeah, more equalization. Because I wanted to make this sketch tune sound quite warm and deep, I concentrated on the low, mid and mid frequencies because they're usually responsible for that warm, cozy kind of sound. So all together sounds like it. It's really subtle. Yeah, and I actually like play the notes slightly delayed, again to create that kind of jazzy feeling. Next one, I think it's massive again. Yeah, bassline. Very simple, but work like a charm. One saw wave and one square wave. They are detuned for about like 30 cents. And this is how they sound without filter. Then filter, resonance. I don't have any unisons here. What I also have is a little bit of feedback here. I just find that it just gives a little bit more volume and saturation. So yeah, work good for the bass lines. But yeah, apart from that, nothing else really. The more you detune, the faster those movements will be. So I just found the right kind of speed of this modulation. Processing, let's check it. So here I just add some bass, just kind of thickening of the bass. Again, just lower the high frequencies. wave shaping for the volume, just to add some volume and like grittiness to it. I'm actually talked about wave shaping in my previous track breakdown for Cravings. You can watch it if you're interested in how I use Wave Shaper. This is sidechain probably, and yeah, this is I recorded some kind of bass line. Yeah, that's it. So I also have separate layer of bassline for mid frequencies. I just it's just copy of that massive, all the same but different processing. Here I used Saturn and yeah, basically Saturn to kind of bring those harmonics, make it a bit more harmonic rich, and then yeah, just put extra equalization and some what is it, like a compression to add some grittiness. Like you can hear those artifacts. And at the end I have yeah, just equalizer to cut low frequencies. And just a little bit of reverb. Like a whole reverb. Because I wanted it to blend with the pad, with the atmosphere, so you better know you are the very best. You are the very best. Me have to say that 2 times. You better know you are the very best. Basically, when the part ends, and anytime you need me, call me. Here is I take you places like the end of the bed. You better know you are the very best. And I turn on this second layer of the bassline to make it more kind of gritty and heavy. 2 times. You better know you are the very best. You are the very best. Me have to say that 4 times. You don't know that only you can be my comfort. And if I lose you, only God. And all this processing, just want to mention that you better know you are the very. I know you. You better know you are the very best. It's better to make it while listening to the full song with all the elements, or at least just check from time to time how it sounds in the mix, because like for example, I don't really like these clipping artifacts. I don't like it when it's solo, but in the mix, I don't know, for me it sounds better with them. So yeah, because I don't have anywhere in the mix this layer playing solo, I don't care how it sounds solo, I care how it sounds in the mix with the main layer, so you better know you are the very best. You are the very best. Me have to say that 2 times. You better know you are the very. Okay, so let's just briefly check the atmospheres I have here. So the main pad is just a sample of the pad. Just pitched down, then I put a equalizer, just left the low mid frequencies, even more equalization here just to add some bottom end, and some reverb, medieval like long big reverb. Then I have this pad and this chord. So I think this chord is also one of the main elements in this tune. Let's see what processing we have here. So again, this one is a sample, just something from Splice probably. Let's turn off the processing and see how it sounds without it. just kind of pad chords. So what I've done, again, got high frequencies and low frequencies and added guitar rig. Let's see what we have there. So I have delay and the reverb. I think delay is pretty basic. But for the reverb, if you can see, the mix knob and the reverb knob is kind of moving around. It's because I'm modulating them with these LFOs, and this LFO modulating these two parameters, and this LFO is kind of a random generator, randomizing speed of the LFO. So this LFO rate randomized, and with random speed it tweaking these knobs with different rates. Yeah, and with the delay, it's just adding a bit of, I don't know, life in it. And then I have another delay with the bandpass filter. Just equalizer to blend it with the other elements. Because I have a pad which is quite heavy on the low end. So yeah, you know, I cut this part to save some space for the main pad. And here I just have some more equalization. Just added some mid frequencies here. And of course reverb. Again, quite long. Huge spaces, medieval reverb. Now for this one. This one again is a sample. Let me check the original. Some kind of techno, dub techno sample. Really like the chord, so I cut it and then this is the original, sorry. So yeah, then I have equalization mainly. Again, cut high frequencies and low frequencies, make it kind of more deep. Then this delay is actually working like a filter. So we have two filters, bandpass and high pass. One of them is more like sounding more in the left channel. The other one is on the right channel. They have different delay time, so they a little bit, like there is a little delay between them. Let's increase it just to hear. So it's kind of put it in a weird white space. Like now it's in the center, but with this effects, like different filters, one of the left and one of the right, it sounds kind of weirdly beautiful. Then we have another equalizer just to get down those high frequencies even more, and just a tiny bit of wave shaping just to add a little bit of volume. But the really not the main, but really important part is the reverb here. Again, it's quite big, long reverb, 12 seconds. And the difference between other reverbs on the pads here and this one is that I left quite a lot of high frequencies here, so I don't cut them. You can hear it. Let's cut them. Usually you cut high frequencies just to make it sounds a bit more natural, but here I kind of leave them. And it creates this huge amount of space, and these chords really kind of fill the space between the sounds. And I think it's also kind of because of that it gets a bit more attention than other pads. It's like the hugest, the biggest reverb here. Then we have samples from Minilog. Just, some detuned saw waves, equalized, and with the chorus, Juno emulation of Juno chorus, and a big reverb. 17 seconds. Yeah, they sounds at the end of 16 or sometimes 32 bars. And in terms of synth, I think that's it. And of course, one of the most important parts of this track is vocals. So we have two vocalists here, is DRIIA and Doktor. And I'm actually quite surprised how easy it was to blend them together. I thought it will be difficult, but I don't know, it's worked well, I think. So let's just start with the DRIIA. DRIIA came up with this chorus. Let's hear it.
You drive me crazy when you're gone, 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 gone. I get that craving, what you done, 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 done. You got them siren eyes, don't you know that you're driving me crazy when you're gone, gone, gone.
I will just talk you through my process of dealing with the vocals. Like, I'm not super professional about it, because I just learn from my mistakes. Firstly, I've just cut some unnecessary noises and stuff. I change the timing a little bit here and there. Then I processed it with Melodyne, just to make sure that, pitch is right. And then I rendered it, so I have just one file, straight file. It's just easier for me to work this way. Sometimes when I have, too many cuts and pieces. And then I usually try to put it in the mix with as little processing as possible. And I start from delay and reverb.
You drive me crazy when you're gone, 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 gone. I get that craving, what you done, 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 done. You got them siren eyes.
Because with the delay and reverb already it doesn't sound as dry as before, and it actually helps to put it in the mix.
You drive me crazy when you're gone, 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 gone.
So for the reverb, I have it's like a 2-second whole reverb.
You drive.
Not too much of the high end. Have some equalization, and with the delay.
You drive me crazy when you're gone, 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 gone.
Again, just a couple of delays, and I also put RC20 to add some wobble and kind of lo-fi flavor to it.
You drive me crazy,
but it's subtle. Then I usually cut low frequencies, maybe add some equalization, and I can really hear that I need to put compressor on it, because some parts are louder than the others. So I usually put compressor, and you can see here that this compressor only affects the loud parts. So this one I use only to make the volume of the vocal more consistent. Then I usually, well, of course I will need de-esser to just make those S sounds a bit pleasant. And then after that, it's actually like, it sounds pretty okay already. You drive me crazy when you're gone, 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 gone. I get that craving. But anything else I will add to make it, to add some characteristic to the vocal, or to make it, to fit it better in the mix. So here, for example, I added a little bit of fresh air on the higher frequencies. You drive me crazy when you're gone, you know, those very, very high frequencies. Now here I added even more high frequencies. You drive me crazy when you're gone, gone. Some mid frequencies as well. You drive me crazy when you're gone. Again, these instruments, they kind of color the audio. You can just try different ones to see what fits. Then I have de-esser, limiter, and another virtual rec. And here I experimented with different compressors and saturation. I haven't used saturation at the end, so I can just delete this. But these two compressors are working. So this is quite popular, like analog compressors. This one is kind of a bit more heavier with the fast attack and release. You drive me crazy when you're gone, 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 gone. It's kind of make it really flat. And I mix the original with the super compressed signal. You drive me crazy when you're gone, gone, gone. Just to increase presence in the mix. And then I add another compressor. You drive me. This one is kind of have more attack and release, and kind of working a bit slower than this one. So it's different character, basically. You drive me crazy when you're gone, gone. And apart from that, of course, I have back vocals, back layers. Drive me crazy. Gone, 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 gone. I get that craving. Dun, dun, dun. With the main vocal. You got them. Don't you know that you're driving me crazy when you're gone, gone, gone. It just sounds more kind of full, and the processing is quite easy. Equalizer, limiter. You drive me crazy. Compressor, quite brutal compressor. You drive me crazy. Then chorus, and here as well we have chorus, bit of volume shaping, equalizer, and reverb, of course. It's just trial and errors, but usually I use chorus to make it wide and quite heavy compression and reverb.
You drive me crazy.
And just mix it with the original vocal while listening to the full arrangement.
You drive me crazy. You drive me crazy. You drive me crazy when you're gone, 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 gone.
Here I also added some Doktor vocal on the verse or on the chorus.
Gone, 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 gone.
Yep. So that's it. And the Doktor. So I think DRIIA's vocal we recorded at the studio when we were together, and we decided to just leave that recording. But Doktor re-recorded his vocal at his own studio, and some singers processed their vocal by themselves because they know how they want to make it sound. I'm not really sure, but I think Doktor put some processing on the vocal because it sounded pretty good as it was, without any processing almost.
I don't like it when you leave. Will you stay? All of my heart melting away.
Let me just turn off all the processing.
I don't like it when you leave. Will you stay? All of my heart melting away. Never like it when you go through the door. Cause every time you leave, my heart skip a beat, babe. You don't know that only you can be.
Okay, so what we have here? We have de-esser to make those S sounds a bit smoother, just a tiny bit, and the virtual mix rack. Again, I don't use these and these. So a little bit of equalization.
I don't like it when you leave. Will you stay?
Some mid frequencies. Again, some de-essing.
You don't know that only you can be my comfort. And if I lose you.
And compressor. Again, this compressor is quite
You don't know that.
with a quite short attack and release to make the volume more constant. Then we have delay.
You don't know.
This delay is let's listen to this one.
You don't know.
It's like
You don't know that only you can be my comfort. And if I lose you, only God know that I'm done for.
it's like a slap delay, like almost like a stadium one. Yeah, I just thought it sounds cool, and I mixed a little bit of it.
You don't know that.
Yeah, just to put this vocal in like different room, different dimension.
You don't know that only you can be my comfort. And if I lose you, only God know that I'm done for. And anytime you need me, call me and I'll comfort. I take you places, take you.
Then of course reverb.
You don't know that only you can be my comfort. And if I lose you, only God know that I'm done for. And anytime you need me, call me and I'll comfort. I take you places like we on tour. You better know you are the very best. You are the.
For the reverb here, I was trying to find something that will blend this vocal with the deepness of the tune, so I decided to go with a larger room and decay.
You don't know that only you can be my comfort. And if I lose you, only God know that I'm done for. And anytime.
Yep. And it's actually sent to another delay, the same delay that DRIIA vocal sent also. So they are sharing kind of the same delay, the same space, and it helps to blend them together in one tune. And we have a layer.
You don't know that only you can be my comfort. And if I lose you, only God know that I'm done for.
Like a back vocal type of thing. Again, chorus.
You don't know that only you can be my comfort. And if I lose you, only God know that I'm done for. And anytime you tell me
Equalizer.
comfort, I take you places, take you.
Compression.
You don't know that
Even more compression.
comfort.
And reverb.
You only God know that I'm done for.
It is sent to the delay as well.
We are now comfort. I take you places like we on tour. You don't know that only you can be my comfort.
It just helps to make this vocal a bit more full. Yeah, and then at the final part of the track, after the breakdown, we have another chorus, and here we have also the Doktor part with the DRIIA vocal. So
you drive me crazy when you're gone, 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 gone.
So it sounds more full at the end. Also on the breakdown, we have another kind of verse from a bridge from DRIIA. And it's actually processed differently. Let me check. So yeah, I have like a flanger and chorus here to put it in that dreamy state. And of course reverb and some equalizer. That's it for the vocal. Just a little summary for the vocal processing I usually do. So I start from trying the dry vocal with the reverb and delay, then some equalization and compression. And then when it fits the track, I can experiment with more compression, add some harmonics, like maybe saturation or equalization, different type of equalizers, and also add some chorus, like back vocal and stuff like that. Yeah, because I find that it's really easy to fall into the trap of over-processing of the vocal, especially. Like some of my project like has, I don't know, 30 or 40 effects on the vocal, and I think the best way to keep it simple is to start with the most obvious things like reverb and delay, then add equalization and compression, and go from there. Okay, now let's check the drums. Okay, these are the drums. Let's start from kick. So it's a couple of one-shots. Just send to one channel with equalization, saturation. Nothing too crazy. Then we have clap or snare. And here I have a couple of layers actually, and it's a bit more interesting here. So this is the main one. Okay, let me just turn off the reverb for now. This is the main one, just equalizer. Then we have this layer, flanger. So this one is to make the snare a bit wider. Then I have another clap. And it's actually with the phaser, some equalizers, and then it's sent to the reverb, and the mix knob is turned up all the way up. So we don't actually hear the original signal, we just hear the reverb. Because of the phaser, the frequency response of the reverb is slightly changing with time. And it creates movement. What else I have? Some kind of a hi-hat. No, it's a clap again. One more clap. Then I have hi-hats. these hi-hats with a tiny bit of reverb. This is without these ones. So yeah, this is like the main drums, and they are all sent to one kind of boost channel. We have here wave shaper just to add some volume to the full set of drums, and also a bit more processing. So here I just added the very high end and some even more high end, high frequencies with this revival plugin. I really like how it's adding those really high frequencies, but they're really soft. So yeah, I added it to the all drums, and then I send it to reverb, really small room reverb. This is the room reverb. Again, just to blend them together and make them more natural. And then I have a couple of layers of rights. Kind of jazzy rights. So I left only the very high frequencies. I turned down the transients a little bit, add some even more high end. Again, cut transients even more, add phaser. You can hear that it's kind of moving from the left to right. This is for volume, wave shaping. Then gross beat is kind of to make it less obvious, to blend them together with the rest of the drums. And then reverb. So these rides, they actually like became almost like a noise underneath the drums. Then I have here just some cuts of the breaks. Again, flanger, tiny bit of gating, cut some transients, and yeah, also this is sidechain from the kick and snare. Just small little details to make it funkier. And then I have some shakers. The original break is... So I just cut the hi-hats, the shakers, and some ghost snares, just to leave some imperfections. Yeah, this is just break, some breaks. With a gradual volume increase.
You drive me crazy.
And yeah, that's it. I don't actually have any like additional percussion or anything on drums, because yeah, I think this tune is all about pads and the vocal, and also deep bassline. That's it for this tune. Thanks for watching. I will put presets and samples from this tune on my Patreon. So yeah, if you're interested have a look. And yeah, thanks for your support. If you could give this video a thumbs up, I would be really grateful. The best ways to support me is subscribe to my Patreon or buy some of my presets and samples. The links will be in the description. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, I will answer them. And yeah, thank you, see you soon.